Chapter 1. I'm back to the beginning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. God, help us, Yi Ju watched, helpless, as the demon god trampled him to death, and he closed his eyes. He was talented, no doubt, but in this wasteland world, the competition was brutal, especially for someone like him, a new human born after the apocalypse. Awakened individuals had to fight tooth and nail for every scrap of resource. It felt like the returns just weren't worth the effort. Effort had become inflated. Yi Ju was stuck, with no resources. He'd been stagnant for ages. He'd grind for weeks just to get a tiny advantage. He longed to go back, to travel to the very beginning, when the demons first appeared, when resources were plentiful, and then, it was over. Yi Ju was dead, but when he opened his eyes, he was stunned. Hey, class is over. Still sleeping, someone said it. He didn't know who. He looked around, confusion clouding his eyes. Could it be? I traveled back in time. Yi Ju's heart pounded. He'd seen places like this in old books, a classroom. These people were students, so, what was his name? Yi Ju frantically checked the homework on his desk. It was Yi Ju. He looked at his reflection in the window. The face staring back was definitely him. He didn't know how it had happened, but Yi Ju was buzzing with excitement. His mind raced. He reached into his school bag. A cell phone appeared in his hand. The time read, April 3rd, 2025, 3:20:10 p.m., less than 10 minutes until the apocalypse. 10 minutes, Yi Ju stared, shocked. He glanced at the other students. They were slumped at their desks, bored. Some had headphones on, lost in their music, completely unaware that the world was about to end. Yi Ju wasn't a saint. He'd been born in the wasteland. He knew the darkness that lurked there. After a moment of silence, he muttered under his breath. In 10 minutes, if you survive, find a way to kill a demon. Barely anyone heard him, maybe just a few nearby. And even then, they didn't pay attention. Yi Ju was probably just lost in some fantasy, but the girl in front of him turned around. Her eyes met his. Killing demons gets you rewards, Yi Ju said, flashing a grin. Yi Ju, are you sleep-talking or something? Su Yan looked at him, dumbfounded. She thought he was still dreaming, still out of it. Yi Ju, class is about to start. Where do you think you're going? The Chinese teacher walked in, holding a book. Seeing Yi Ju rush out the door, she sighed inwardly. Some people are just hopeless. A knife, where's a knife? Yi Ju ran. He was looking for something sharp, but he didn't know this place. He had no idea about the school's layout. In the wasteland, who needed schools? Just figuring out how to stay alive was a full-time job. I was watching the news with my dad last night. The reporter said huge cracks and sinkholes are popping up all over the place, and they're still growing. Me too. Those cracks are terrifying. Do you think there's a monster down there? He pushed past groups of students chatting. Congrats, you figured it out, Yi Ju said as he hurried by. They froze, staring after him. Then, boom, the building shook violently. Earthquake, the sleepers, the gossiping, the music listeners, the preppers, everyone screamed. A continuous rumbling sound came from the ground. Then a vicious red blade shot up from the ground. The clouds in the sky split open. The entire school building was sliced in two. Help me, people screamed as they fell into the widening cracks. Students hit by flying debris, clutched their wounds, screaming in agony on the ground. Chapter 2. System binding successful. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Black rain started to fall. Outside the school, a constant buzzing filled the air. The world felt like it was coming apart at the seams. Man, that demon god's sword almost got me. Yi Ju was drenched in cold sweat. Just a few feet closer, and he'd be dead. He took a long, deep breath and looked down at the weapon in his hand, a fruit knife. He'd just grabbed it from the empty school cafeteria. This was shaping up to be a prime hunting ground for Yi Ju. The fewer people around, the better. A lone wolf with some early strength had a better chance of surviving. Squeak. Just then, a bone-chilling sound echoed up from the ground. It wasn't just Yi Ju. Every teacher and student who heard it went pale. Something was definitely down there. A blood-curdling scream pierced the air, followed by another. Is the devil coming out? Yi Ju's heart skipped a beat. He stared intently at the edge of a crack. Snap. A black claw gripped the edge of the opening. Then, a twisted body pulled itself into view. A little lemure, the weakest flesh and blood demon. Yi Ju wasn't scared, he was almost happy. The flesh and blood lair hidden under the school was just a little lemure. Demon, little lemure. Rank, lowest. Description, black-skinned, the bottom feeder of the demon world. Features, huge eyeballs and sunken nostrils. Capable of tearing through steel with their bite and fangs. Guga. The little demon spotted Yi Ju, it charged, excited, flesh. Delicious flesh and blood. It couldn't wait to feast, but, click. A fruit knife was embedded in its forehead with deadly accuracy, a throwing knife. It stared blankly, brain short-circuiting. You killed a little lemure and gained plus 10 experience points. 90 experience points needed to level up. Reach level 5 to awaken. The world's notifications were the same as in his previous life. Yi Ju walked over to the corpse and yanked the fruit knife free. Whoosh. Thick black blood gushed out, bang. A potion bottle exploded next to the little lemure. Name, Potion of Immortality. Effect, grants immortality for 10 seconds after consumption. This kind of potion was common knowledge to Yi Ju. It made you invincible for 10 seconds, even from fatal wounds. A lot of awakened people used it to deliver the final blow. Of course, any damage taken during that time would hit all at once after the effect wore off, but, another cold, mechanical voice stopped Yi Ju dead in his tracks. Congratulations, the permanent buff extraction system has been activated. The host can now extract special effects from various equipment and other unrestricted items, and convert them into permanent buffs. The items will disappear after extraction. Am I dreaming? Yi Ju was stunned. A system. He actually had a system. A perk for time travelers. And it could extract special effects from items, turning them into permanent buffs. This was totally broken. Yi Ju couldn't believe it. There were so many items with special effects. Physical damage reflect, magic reflect, critical hit potions, damage reduction, damage amplification, recovery potions, and so on. What did this mean? Could he become infinitely strong over time? Extract, the effect of the immortality potion, immortality. Yi Ju took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. He decided to test it out first. If he could get the immortality buff, he could take a beating and keep going, not just keep going, but win consistently. He literally couldn't die. Maybe I can be the first awakened person in the world and win the top prize. Yi Ju's eyes lit up. With the immortality buff, he was going to go all out, or he wasn't living. In his previous life, he'd had enough of being a spectator, living a tragic life from the sidelines. Chapter 3 Permanent Buff Extraction. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding, extracting immortality potion. Immortality, effect successful. You've gained a permanent buff, immortality. Instantly, countless blue starlight particles poured into Yi Ju's body from every direction. Buff activated. Toggle it on or off in the buff bar. Buff bar, immortal. Silently check the details of each buff. Check. Yi Ju thought, immortality buff. You cannot die from any injury, including but not limited to dizziness, hallucinations, fainting, etc. Negative effects are determined by the host's will. Can combine with other immortality skills to create a stronger immortality buff, duration, forever. Whoa, Yi Ju was through the roof, immortal. Can you believe it? And the best part? He can get even more powerful buffs down the line. He forced himself to tamp down his excitement. He might be unkillable, but, he's still a puny 5-year-old. He quickly made a plan. Step 1, build up some serious combat power and grab those buffs. Step 2, wipe out the little demon's nest. Why? The XP and rewards for destroying the nest are off the charts. Granted, it's a risky move. Usually, taking down a nest requires a well-geared team of badasses. Let the hunt begin. Yi Ju licked his lips. He took off, sprinting towards the nearest scream. Help me. Please, help me. It was a blonde kid, covered in blood, one leg already chewed up. His willpower was insane. He hadn't even passed out. Seeing someone running towards him, he looked like he'd been thrown a lifeline. Sorry, kid. I'll avenge you. Yi Ju blew past him, heading straight for the lemur that was doing the chasing. Guga. The little lemur shrieked, mouth wide open, ready for another bite. Boom. Yi Ju went into a slide, knocking the demon off its feet. Then, he leaped up, a knife flashed, sinking deep into its heart. He yanked it out. Whoosh, thick, black blood sprayed everywhere. You killed a little lemur. Plus 10 XP. 80 XP needed to level up. Reach level 5 to awaken and become an awakener. Yi Ju swatted away the minor prompt sounds. He looked to see what the lemur dropped. A polearm, weapon, piercing spear, special effects, penetration, 10% chance to trigger penetration on attack, dealing double damage. Extract penetration effect. Yi Ju used the system to extract the special effect. Ding, extracting piercing spear. Penetration effect successful. You've gained the permanent buff, penetration. More blue starlight flooded his body. Check buff bar. Penetration. Yi Ju thought, penetration buff, 10% chance to trigger penetration on attack, dealing double damage. This buff can be stacked, adding 10% each time, up to a maximum of 100%, duration, forever. Stackable. No way. Yi Ju was blown away. That means he needs to extract this thing 10 times to max out the buff. Time to hunt more monsters. The next moment, he vanished into the darkness. So strong. The kid with the busted leg had watched the whole thing, from the quick kill to the polearm, but, while he was distracted, a nasty little lemur crept up behind him. Its fangs sank into his head. Meanwhile, Yi Ju, who'd booked it out of there, was deaf to the screams behind him. Maybe the kid pulled through. Chapter 4. This man has a secret. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Ju kept moving, still searching for any sign of the little demons. The stench is unbelievable. Blood and rot. If I hadn't gotten used to it, I would have already puked. Lemurs, those little guys mentioned in the old books, are the weakest of the bunch, but even so, before humans wake up their abilities, they're still a threat. After all, they're not like Yi Ju, who went straight from prey to predator, quiet, dead quiet, except for the occasional screams coming from the classroom building. A constant reminder to their panicking minds, those monsters, they're hunting us. Don't make a sound. Or else, you're monster food. Same goes for Su Yen. She'd been hiding in a locker in the corner for about half an hour. Now, all she could hear was her own heartbeat. How did this happen? Su Yen was in a daze. Just half an hour ago, her best friend, her desk mate, died right in front of her. The monster ate half her body. Wasn't it full yet? She could hear its footsteps. Su Yen clamped her hands over her mouth. She couldn't make a sound, but then, ring, 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 ring. Her cell phone started ringing. Su Yan's fingers flew, reacted instantly. Gotta turn off this damn phone. But she and the locker she was hiding in went spinning and crashed to the floor. Ah! Su Yen tumbled out of the locker, like a piece of meat. She rolled to a stop at the monster's feet. Su Yen could even see a bracelet on one of the fangs in the devil's mouth. It was her best friend's bracelet, the one she'd given her for her birthday. Ah! She screamed, kicking and flailing with everything she had. What's wrong with you? The devil actually spoke. Su Yen blinked, rubbing her eyes. Where were the devils and the bracelet? There was a person standing right in front of her. Su Yen didn't know what to say. She was starting to come to her senses. Maybe the locker didn't have enough oxygen, combined with the stress. She must be hallucinating, but when she finally recognized who was there, she gasped again. You're Yi Ju. Su Yen pointed, her fingers trembling. Remember to kill a demon. An odd thing to say. That's exactly what the boy in front of her had said to her half an hour ago. He had to know something. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said that to her. I'm gonna go now. Yi Ju nodded. He had an immortal buff. He wasn't human. He'd hunt more demons and level up faster. Don't leave me. I'm scared. Su Yen whispered, perfect and aloof. She was the school beauty everyone looked up to. This was the first time she'd ever shown this kind of weakness in front of a guy. A strange thought even crossed her mind. Why was he in such a hurry? Wasn't she pretty enough? Did she have a bad figure? I'm hunting demons. It's way too dangerous for you to follow me. Yi Ju frowned, he turned and ran down the dark corridor at the other end. Wait. Wait for me, Su Yen snapped to attention, she ran after him, something told her she had to stick with him. They're coming. Run, suddenly, a group of girls and boys came running towards them, screaming in terror, they sprinted past, for a second, Su Yen wanted to run with them, but why hadn't he looked back? What is he doing? Su Yen felt something ignite inside her, and without even thinking about it, she ran forward, her perfect legs eating up the ground, her fear had been replaced by curiosity. Chapter 5 shocked Su Yen for 100 years. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Boom. A deafening bang. The kid in front of Yi Ju got clotheslined and went flying, chaos erupted in the classroom, a dozen kids huddled together, bawling. Another kid got tossed like a ragdoll, landing with a thud. This little monster was seriously strong. A power mutant? Some kind of mutated demon. Yi Ju stepped forward, his expression shifting. When you run into a mutant type this early on, there's one rule, run. But, the experience points for taking down a mutant are insane. Crack! The mutated little demon's fist slammed into the window, shattering the glass into a million pieces. Its face, twisted with rage, showed just how powerful it was. Help me. Please don't smash my head in, the kid pinned beneath it screamed, paralyzed with fear. He could only watch as the demon, muscles bulging, prepared to pulverize his skull. Boom. His head exploded like a watermelon. Roar. The mutant little demon, chest puffed out, beat its fists against its chest and roared at the ceiling. Bleg! Su Yen rushed in and saw the carnage. She puked her guts out all over the floor, then she saw Yi Ju walking over, stone-faced. Dude, you've got a death wish. She couldn't hold it back any longer. This guy was nuts. Completely psycho. He was walking straight towards the devil. And, he was picking up speed, breaking into a sprint. Whoosh! Yi Ju charged. Those who weren't dead, who were still groaning on the floor, and those huddled together sobbing, were all stunned. With the monster's insane strength, it could crush a person's head with one swipe. What was this guy thinking? Was he out of his mind? Boom, boom, boom. The mutated little lemur roared, furious. It felt like its authority had been challenged. It raised its fist, ready to strike. A wild flurry of attacks came at Yi Ju. Boom, boom, boom. The place was trashed, choked with dust. Su Yen couldn't even watch what was happening to Yi Ju, but, when the dust settled, no blood, no gut splattered everywhere, Yi Ju wasn't even hurt. Instead, the terrifying mutated little demon was gasping for air, exhausted. Ow. Then, a fruit knife appeared in Yi Ju's hand, and he stabbed the little demon right in the eyes. Arg! A blood-curdling scream, both of the little demon's eyes were blinded, it was going berserk. It kicked and clawed at the desks and chairs in the room, but, knife after knife, he kept slashing at its body, the blade even snapped. Holy crap, is he even human? He's too strong. Is he some kind of special ops guy? Martial arts, this is martial arts, right? To Su Yen and the students on the floor, it all seemed like a dream. Arg! The mutated little lemur kept making those hoarse, dying sounds, the voice getting softer. Yi Ju reached down with his left hand and grabbed a shard of broken glass. Whoosh! He plunged it into its heart. Roar! The mutated little lemur was still struggling for its life. Finally, it managed to land a punch on Yi Ju, a last, desperate act. After that blow, it died instantly, with a sickening crack. Yi Ju was thrown backward, the wooden tables shattered on impact, sending splinters flying, embedding themselves in his chest and stomach, but, like a goddamn warrior, his expression never changed, and he yanked the shards out of his body. Blood gushed out. Su Yen and the others saw it all, their eyes were wide with shock and admiration. What's a real man? This is a real man, doesn't even flinch when he's practically dying. When Su Yen finally snapped out of it, Yi Ju had already grabbed his loot and was headed for the door. Yi Ju, you're hurt. Can I bandage you up? Su Yen followed, whispering. Chapter 6 Permanent Thunder Buff. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Ju nodded, letting Su Yen tie him up. He wasn't dead, but he'd lost a lot of blood, making him a little dizzy. He was probably the only idiot crazy enough to challenge a mutated little lemur before even hitting level 1, but hey, the payoff was huge. First off, he dinged level 1, and his strength got a boost. Plus, his body had unlocked energy. He started with 100 points. Energy lets him use magic and fight those spirit demons. Those spirit demons are fragile on the outside but super weird. They defy physics, walk through walls, fly. Newton would be spinning in his grave. Yi Ju pulled out his loot, a thick skill book. Lightning Strike. When activated, a bolt of lightning strikes a random enemy nearby every 2 seconds. Description: on, off, cost, 10 energy per second. System: can I extract the special effects from skills? Yi Ju asked. Affirmative. This system can extract all special effects, including from skill books, a cold voice replied. Extract. No hesitation. Ding. Extraction successful. You have obtained the permanent lightning strike buff. Checking stats: lightning strike, 1 lightning bolt every 2 seconds. Damage scales with host level. This buff can be replaced by chain lightning. Duration: permanent, off/on. Doesn't cost any energy. Yi Ju was blown away. This was awesome. A lightning strike every 2 seconds. These monsters were toast. And chain lightning? Unbelievable. He pictured it, standing there, hands behind his back, while lightning rained down, obliterating everything. Total badass. Chain lightning. Yi Ju was already planning for the future. Maybe he'd become some kind of monster farming god. All bandaged up, Su Yen said, having finished patching him up. She'd torn her top for it. Whoa, a little drafty. Yi Ju stood. It would be sweet if he could extract an injury healing buff. Yi Ju, what were you just doing? Su Yen asked, a little confused. She'd seen those blue lights going into him while she was bandaging him. It freaked her out. Reward for killing demons, Yi Ju said, stretching his shoulders. Reward? Like playing online games? Su Yen was stunned. Sort of. Besides the random loot, mutated and boss demons drop magic cores. Yi Ju pulled out a black, walnut-sized lump. You had to dig these things out of the corpses. The stronger the monster, the better the chance of finding one. Regular monsters almost never had them. What's a magic core? Su Yen felt like an idiot. Before all this, she was a straight-A student. Now, all her knowledge seemed useless. Stuff you use to awaken. When you hit level 5, you need them to break through and become an awakened one, or you can't level up any further. Yi Ju pocketed the core. You needed the energy of at least 10 magic cores to become awakened. He only had 1, so he needed more. Level. Awakened? What are you even talking about? Su Yen was baffled. You'll get the hang of it as you kill demons. You'll see, Yi Ju shrugged. He didn't mind filling her in. Whether she lived or died was up to fate. He was about to head back toward the demon spawn when. But I can't do that. Su Yen said sheepishly. If you can't, just, hold up, don't move. Yi Ju suddenly looked at Su Yen, his eyes wide with concern. Or rather, he was staring at something behind her. Something terrifying. Chapter 7 Double Lair. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why? Su Yan's lips trembled, and her face went white as a sheet. She knew Yi Jinjia's expression barely flickered even when battling those mutated little demons, so this change in his face, what was behind her? Su Yen wanted to turn around and see for herself, but she was paralyzed with fear. Her legs were shaking too badly. Could it be, a double nest, Yi Ju frowned, taking a step back. Yi Ju. Tears streamed down Su Yan's face. She was a smart girl. She understood the gravity of the situation. When Yi Ju retreated, he was ready to cut his losses and run. No, please don't, Su Yan pleaded, but Yi Ju's face remained impassive as he continued to back away. He'd already seen those weird, transparent hands that could rip right through Su Yan's chest. Whoosh, star. In a flash, Yi Ju bolted into the darkness. Karma star. The strange hands froze just inches from Su Yan's heart. Whoosh, star. They followed Yi Ju's escape route, disappearing into the darkness after him. Su Yan had survived. Ah! Su Yan crumpled to the ground. A sharp pain shot through her chest. When she touched it, her hand came away covered in blood. That's when she knew, whatever was back there had definitely done this. Yi Ju, did he do that on purpose, to lure it away? A strange thought flickered through Su Yan's mind. Maybe Yi Ju hadn't abandoned her after all. Her emotions were a tangled mess. She decided to follow. This school really is a double nest. Yi Ju took a deep breath, one physical, one spiritual. He planted his foot and launched himself into another corridor. Behind him, the black shadow didn't bother with walls or air, just phasing straight through, closing the distance, total disregard for the laws of physics. And just then, the corridor lights flickered, revealing the devil's true form, a devil doll. Devil doll, one of the lowest level spiritual demons. Yi Ju stopped. He channeled his energy into his fist and threw a punch. Boom, *1 shot. The devil doll's body exploded. A disgusting sound followed as thick fluids and blood splattered everywhere. He even heard bones breaking, 2 ribs, at least, he figured. Screech, it shrieked in pain. Instead of attacking again, it began to circle Yi Ju slowly. Demons are divided into physical and spiritual types. The only way to deal with spiritual ones is with energy attacks. Yi Ju narrowed his eyes. He activated his lightning technique. Boom, a bolt of lightning crashed down from the sky. It hit the devil doll square on the head. The sickening sound of a skull cracking echoed, and, for good measure, an eyeball popped out of its socket. 2 seconds later. Boom, another lightning strike. A crisp crack, the devil doll's head shattered like a rotten watermelon. Black blood splattered all over the walls. From the ruined head, a crystalline magic core popped out. Crystal magic cores and flesh magic cores did the same thing. They're both used for awakening. However, there was a difference. Someone awakened with a crystal magic core would develop superpowers. The flesh and blood version created mutations. Yi Ju, are you okay? What kind of demon was that? Su Yan caught up, panting. She looked at the goo and blood coating the walls. She knew Yi Ju had killed it, but she still didn't know what it was. That's a spirit demon. If we got that one, there shouldn't be another one around. Yi Ju walked over and picked up what the devil doll had dropped, a stack of yellow paper and a single-use prop. Chapter 8 Thunder is coming. The Heavenly Master is you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Exorcism Talisman X10, effect, automatically burns to create a protective shield when a spirit demon is nearby, preventing its attacks. Duration, 10 seconds. Extract. Yi Ju thought to himself. Ding. Special effect extracted successfully. Congratulations. You've obtained the permanent exorcism buff. Permanent exorcism buff automatically creates a protective shield when a spirit demon is nearby, preventing its attacks, unaffected by powerful spirit demons. Duration, forever. Yi Ju tossed the remaining 9 exorcism talismans to Su Yan. With the permanent exorcism buff, these were just useless. Oh, you shouldn't have. Su Yan took them anyway and tucked them away. After all, the terrifying scene from moments ago was still fresh in her mind. I'm going demon hunting. It's too dangerous for you to come along. Yi Ju looked at her. If he hadn't made the right call earlier, Su Yan would be dead. Can you let me kill just one? Su Yan pleaded. No. Yi Ju frowned. He was only level 1, killing the demon doll gave him a decent amount of experience, but he still needed a lot more to reach level 2, he had to level up fast. Okay. Su Yen looked disappointed. Just one kill, after she got her reward, she might become stronger too. You should probably head out once you meet up with more people. Yi Ju shook his head. No one could keep up with him, at least, not right now. Su Yen sighed. She repeatedly tried calling the police, but like Yi Ju said, the world had gone to hell, no cops were coming, at least the signal was still working for now. Hey, Su Wei, is that you? Awesome. You're alive. Where are you? Su Yen sounded relieved and excited. The person who had called her from the locker room was Su Wei, her childhood friend. Listen, get someone to come save us. There's a demon outside the door, Su Wei replied quickly. He glanced at the terrified classmates huddled beside him. They were armed with chairs, ready to fight to the death. I'll take you to them. Hearing that there was a demon, Yi Ju rushed off with Su Yen. Sure enough, two little demons were attacking a classroom door. The door was falling apart. Boom. The door finally gave way. Ah! They're coming in, the students in the classroom screamed. Guga! The two little demons excitedly rushed in, attacking at the same time. Screams erupted. By the time Yi Ju arrived, 4 people were already dead. The remaining students were holding chairs, blocking the demons. Then something shocking happened. Boom. A blue bolt of lightning appeared out of nowhere. Boom. It struck one of the demons, who let out a pained howl. It was burnt to a crisp. After a few shocked seconds, another bolt of lightning struck. Crack. The little demon's head exploded. What was that? Lightning? Is that you, Master Celestial? Everyone looked confused. The other little demon charged forward, shrieking. Boom. Another thunderbolt struck the little demon. Suddenly, its head burst like a watermelon. The scene was a bloody mess. Chapter 9 Equipment Ownership Issues. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As 2 actual demons bit the dust, one after the other, Yi Ju finally leveled up to level 2. His energy jumped by 10 points, and his physical fitness got another boost. Su Yen, Su Wei was stoked to see the girl behind Yi Ju. He scrambled to his feet, practically leaping up. You're covered in blood. Su Yen sidestepped, and Su Wei missed her. For some reason, she just didn't want to get all touchy-feely with Su Wei in front of Yi Ju. That's awesome. You're alive, and you actually brought someone to save us. Su Wei said, sounding a bit awkward. He shot a glance at Yi Ju, a hint of resentment in his eyes. Having grown up with Su Yen, he could sense something was up with her. Looks like she's got a thing for this wild card, huh? Damn it. Su Wei thought, secretly gritting his teeth. Meanwhile, Yi Ju scanned the scene. There were a dozen or so students, guys and girls, all wearing expressions of utter despair. The whole place was a disaster. Hey, what class are you guys in? The class rep, a girl named Li Lianxue, spoke up. Probably class 3, Yi Ju replied, looking at her. Something about her seemed familiar, but he couldn't quite place it. Thank you so much. I can't believe you can actually take down demons. Li Lianxue said, clearly grateful. If he hadn't shown up when he did, things would have been a lot worse. But what worried her most was Yi Ju's power. That crazy lightning strike and the brute strength to crush a demon's head. Where did he get it? Hey, was that lightning strike you? Was it some kind of high-tech thing? A female teacher, maybe in her late 20s, came over. Her skirt was ripped and barely covered anything important. Yeah, that was insane. Did you do that? A guy chimed in, his face lit up with shock and excitement. Can you teach me how? Suddenly, Yi Ju was surrounded. Hold on, everyone, I know what's going on, and I'm here to explain. Su Yen interjected, worried that Yi Ju was about to lose his cool. Su Yen, you know. Su Wei asked, turning his head in disbelief. Yeah, Yi Ju's power comes from the demons. If we kill them, we get rewards, Su Yen explained, recounting their wild journey to get there. I get it. Haha, so if I kill one demon, I'll be unstoppable. Yeah, it's like playing a video game, killing monsters, and getting loot. Hey, where's the stuff those two demons dropped? Everyone was buzzing, excited and surprised, all eyes on the demon corpses, but, wouldn't you know it, Yi Ju was already bending down, picking up the loot, a small shield and a skill book. Hey, we could really use those. You can't just take them. Su Wei's face went dark. He craved that power. With that kind of power, he could definitely win Su Yen over. Yeah, dude, you're already super strong. Maybe you could share. Several guys nodded in agreement. Yeah, we gotta stick together and be a team. We can only get stronger if we work together. No lone wolf stuff, a couple of girls added. Hey. Yi Ju just saved us. Li Lianxue stammered, stunned by their behavior. I don't think this is right, some of the others mumbled, clearly uncomfortable, but they still had a shred of decency. Here's what we should do, give the gear to Teacher Chen. She's an adult, after all, and knows how to lead us. The more Su Wei talked, the weirder his voice got, practically changing his whole tone. Su Wei, what are you talking about? That gear belongs to Yi Ju, he's the one who killed the demons. Su Yen frowned. She couldn't believe Su Wei was acting like this. Maybe she'd been wrong about him all along. Chapter 10 I Want Her. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Alright, Yi Ju, let the teacher set up the equipment. I'll keep you safe. Qinya looked intently at Yi Ju, her teacherly authority still firmly in place. This kid might be a bit of a loner, but he wouldn't really defy an adult, would he? Are you trying to get us killed? Qinya asked, drawing out the sentence for emphasis. Under normal circumstances, she wouldn't resort to this tactic to pressure a student. Yeah, our lives are in your hands, Yi Ju, Su Wei added, seeing Yi Ju's silence. Now that we know where the power comes from, becoming as strong as Yi Ju will only take a few minutes, right? Maybe, Yi Ju said finally, but I've got a condition. He had already figured out that the small shield could be enlarged for defense but had no other special properties. And the skill book? Just a basic fishing manual. Nothing special there, either. Yi Ju, why are you agreeing to this? Su Yen burst out, clearly frustrated. Su Wei quickly pulled Su Yen aside. He's just thinking things through. A strong team is the way to go. Don't worry, I will protect you. He was afraid Yi Ju would change his mind. After all, his power is obvious. A condition? Okay, what is it? Qinya asked, a bit surprised. She had the distinct feeling she wasn't dealing with a student anymore, but rather, an adult in negotiations. Why do I get this feeling? It was his calm, that's it. He had been too calm from the start. I want her. Yi Ju pointed. Everyone was stunned. Asterisk her. What does that even mean, star? Yi Ju, what are you talking about? Su Yen asked, confused. Yi Ju wasn't pointing at her, but at Li Lianxue, the class monitor. Me? Li Lianxue's face flushed. This is way too sudden. Yeah, you, Yi Ju said with a slight smile. He finally remembered who she was, the all-powerful Empress of the Wasteland. Asterisk that's right, in my previous life, I crossed paths with her once. Back then, I was just a grunt at Longshao Base. The Empress of the Wasteland walked right past me, didn't even glance my way. She didn't know me from Adam, but I knew her. Who knew her legend would begin in this dump? Guess I'll give her a little boost early on, star. Nice try, but why would she go with you? Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you're strong. We're not afraid of you. Yeah, we're not. The other students looked angry. So, Yi Ju's just a creep. Yi Ju, pick another condition. I can't agree to that, Qinya said, frowning. Asterisk I knew it. Why else would Yi Ju stare at Li Lianxue as soon as he walked in the door? All that cool detachment was an act, star. Forget it, deal's off. Try to stop me from leaving, Yi Ju scoffed. Wait, Li Lianxue said, breaking her silence. I'll go with you. No way. Monitor, you can't. He's not worth it. Everyone tried to dissuade her. I've made up my mind. Li Lianxue quietly moved to stand behind Yi Ju.